Hello, and welcome to Turn to Your Doom, a Choose Your Own Adventure podcast where we walk the many paths and meet the many ends of various Choose Your Own Adventure books. I am Faith. Today we're going to be reading The Mystery of Chimney Rock, written by Edward Packard, illustrated by Paul Granger. And with me is someone who's going to a haunted house to visit some family. Art.
Hi. I don't know why we are going to this house. It's not actually haunted. It's just there's like a cat we lost to the wall like about 5 years ago, and it just won't come out.
Somebody
yowls
lost their
whenever
pet snake.
It just yowls whenever it needs to get fed, and we're just like, oh, fucking hell.
Fuck. Someone lost their pet snake once in there, and now it's haunted, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be reading The Mystery of Chimney Rock. This not the town, by the way. This is apparently a place in Connecticut. Arguably spookier Connecticut. But yeah, this was one of the recommended spooky Choose Your Own Adventure books. The other one I thought about getting, turns out is really racist, and that's why it hasn't gotten a new edition.
Which one was this?
Oh gosh, I can't remember. It was like The Haunting of something hill. It was like it's like an Old West, like you deal with some cowboy ghosts, but I guess there's some very insensitive language and writing about Native Americans as well.
Okay, yeah.
And it was like, never mind. Because I was looking it up and I was reading reviews, and they were like, don't read this one, actually, it's very racist. And I was like, never mind. We'll go with Chimney Rock, which I am reading an older edition of. 1979. 1982 is when this specific version came out. The one that I am reading. So I also can't see the fun little tree on the back that the new ones have.
Oh, that's just that's sounds like a you problem.
I know.
More than anything. I can see it. I see it constantly.
Yeah.
I don't get a chance not to see it.
Yeah, art is always channeling the spirit of Edward Packard, and therefore can always see the past of every single Choose Your Own Adventure book.
Yeah, that's why I always choose the good ones.
Yeah.
And never the bad ones.
Exactly. But yeah, let's get started with this. Vacation is here, and you're visiting your cousins Michael and Jane for a few days at their new home in Connecticut. Soon after you arrive, they take you on a tour of their neighborhood, along shady streets lined with cozy houses, with neatly trimmed lawns. At the top of a hill, you notice a huge stone house, unlike any you have ever seen. It has turrets, walled terraces, and a square tower that looks like a giant chimney. Some of the windows
who do we need to get rid of with all those turrets? Like, why do you need more than one?
What? Who are you defending yourself from? Some of the windows are boarded up, and others are hidden by vines and bushes. There is a big dog chained in front of the little cottage nearby, and you ask your cousins if anyone lives in the main house. Chimney Rock? Most people around here wouldn't live there for $1 million, Michael says. It's supposed to be cursed,
it must be rich people,
Jane adds. I know, right? Like, I'd be like,
I'll live in a haunted house. I would live in a house that's fucking haunted as shit if you gave me $1 million. Like,
Yeah,
I'll just deal with it. I'll stop being scared, like, within a week, and I'll just start being annoyed.
it's
Uh,
also probably like a historical what's the word I'm looking for? Like you're supposed to keep it up and the state like kind of pays you to do so. Like I would totally live there and then fix
yeah,
it up.
if I'm lucky, it's like a caveman ghost, so, like, it'll eventually just be like, wow, look at, you're playing this game right now, that's really interesting. I'll stop haunting you if you entertain
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I
What
mean, I
I
feel
mean,
like I'd
what
become
else
friends
is
with
it?
the ghosts after a while.
I mean, we live in America. Ghosts can only be so old.
Well, no, we can't have caveman ghosts. I am
Exactly.
tired of caveman ghosts never existing. I am tired of no Cro-Magnon ghosts. I'm tired of
You
I.
you would love
You know what? We should have more cowboy ghosts.
you would love the BBC Ghost series because there's a caveman ghost.
Supposedly, the U.S. Ghost series is actually really good as
It
well.
is. Both
It,
of them are very good. I would recommend either series. Actually, both.
I heard that both are good. I'll probably end up
Yes.
watching it at some point.
Yes. They're both very, very good. My sister watched the British series first, and then she watched the American one, like along with my mom, and they both loved it. And I saw a lot of it too, and loved it. But yeah, I mean, like, what are you gonna get in Connecticut though? Like a pilgrim ghost? Whatever. We don't even
Like, the
speak the
worst
same
they're gonna do is
English.
call me a slur. I don't give a fuck. Like,
An old timey one too, so it'll just be funny.
oh, it'll just be funny. Like, I'll probably be like, haha, yes, I am a quadricloon.
They're like, you harlot, and I'm like, tee.
Oh, am I a harlot? Oh, look what I can do. I'll just, like, wow,
Oh
I'll
my
make them
god, look,
uncomfortable.
me sitting here eating food. It's so nice. Anyway,
Hmm.
it's supposed to be cursed, Jane adds. They say that some people who have gone inside have never been seen again. What happened to them is still a mystery. You see, Michael explains, Mrs. Bigley lives in Chimney Rock alone with her cat for many years. When she died, she left instructions in her will that the cat could live there for the rest of its life. People say that she put a curse on the house so that no one would bother the cat. Haven't the police investigated? You ask. What, a cat living there?
What? Okay, wait. What? You don't need to investigate a cat living in an empty house.
And they're like, it's what her will says.
What are you gonna do about it? Like, oh, it's
Yeah.
getting fed. Someone here's feeding it. I mean, I don't think it's. I don't. This isn't like abuse or anything.
Yeah, like, oh, a cat lives here. Also, this is maybe haunted. Like, what are they going to investigate exactly? Anyways.
Investigate how soft it is. Like, oh man, this
Yeah.
is so soft.
Oh, the police have never found anyone, only the cat, Michael says. But some people say Mrs. Bigley never died at all, and that she's still living there herself. What does the caretaker say, you ask? He doesn't say anything, Michael replies. Some say he's crazy, and some say he's just mean. But I guess he's afraid of the curse too, because I hear he won't set foot inside Chimney Rock. You're not kidding? You ask. If you think we're kidding, Michael says, why don't you go inside? If you say, I'll do it, turn to page 4. If you say, no thanks, turn to page 6.
You know I love the no thanks strategy. It's like, nah. I refuse the call of adventure forever. No. I am
Somebody
not
else
changing.
could die.
I am not growing as a person. I am staying the same. I am a static character.
Alright, we'll say no thanks. When you say no thanks, Michael replies, well, I don't blame you. I'll go in, Jane says, even if you two are afraid, but only on one condition, that you'll come after me if I don't come out in 5 minutes. You and Michael can hardly refuse. So the three of you walk up the road to Chimney Rock. There is no sign of the caretaker or anyone else. You circle the house, trying all the doors. Jane finds one that is unlocked. While you and Michael watch, she opens it and walks inside. You suspect that Jane is standing just inside the door and will come out when the 5 minutes are up. But 5, then 6, then 7 minutes go by. You exchange worried glances with Michael. I guess we better go in after her, you say. I'm going to get help, he replies. You stand watch. Before you can answer, he goes running off towards the road. If you go inside after Jane right away, turn to page 12. If you wait for Michael to get help, turn to page 11.
I mean, it feels like waiting is the equivalent of being like nuh-uh as well for adventure, so let's wait.
Okay. While you are waiting for Michael, you walk around the house, tapping on the windows and doors. They are locked, even the back door through which Jane entered. She must be imprisoned inside. You see Jervis, the caretaker, going into his cottage. Maybe he will help you. But there is another possibility. There is a thick vine wrapped around a pillar that supports a balcony over the side porch. It looks as though you could climb it and perhaps get into the house through the windows off the balcony. If you go to the caretaker's cottage and ask Jervis for help, turn to page 22. If you climb up the vine to the balcony, turn to page 21.
Oh man, they're forcing the call of adventure on us. We could talk. We could talk to Jervis.
Okay.
He's definitely not going to be like a creepy caretaker. Be like,
you said that, and I turned the page, and there's an illustration of him. All I heard is, he's not going to be a creepy caretaker, and all I see is, buddy, work on your skincare routine. Get some sleep. Fuck. You cross the meadow to the cottage and knock loudly on the door. In a moment, a heavy-set man wearing a dirty plaid shirt opens the door. His face is pale and fat. His eyes are pink like a pig's. Behind him is a huge dog, a mastiff, chained to a radiator. The dog growls menacingly, but does not move. What do you want? Jervis asks gruffly. My cousin Jane is trapped in the house, and I'm worried about her. Would you please unlock it and help me find her? She should not be in there. Even I don't set foot in the house, Jervis says. Why not? You ask.
Jervis
the mistress
lied.
Would put... I'm allergic to dust. The mistress would put me away. You mean you just take care of the grounds? Aye, and bring them food and things. But who takes care of the house? It's taken care of all right, and so is anybody who goes inside. That's why I'll let you in, if you want. If you ask Jervis to let you inside the house, turn to page 39. If not, turn to page 40.
Let's stay outside. Let's see.
I was gonna
how
say,
far
I'm
we can
guessing
go
you're gonna
if
be
never
like,
going inside.
That's all right, you say. Thanks for your offer. The mistress would not mind you coming in, but she would not want you prowling around, he says. Do you understand? So you must leave here now, or I shall make you regret you ever came. You hurry away. Jervis watches until you reach the road before going back into the cottage. If you run down the road to get help and find Michael, turn to page 77. If you run down the road only until you are out of sight of the cottage and then sneak back to see if you can get into the house, turn to page 78.
If you just go home and leave everyone there.
Yeah, fuck this. This is somebody else's problem. This is above my pay grade.
Let's see if we can get some help. Let's see what happens.
Go find Michael? Okay.
Yeah.
You run back to your cousin's house, finding no one at home. You pick up the phone and call the police. The officer on duty tells you that Michael came to the police station on his bike and asked for help, and that one of the men on the patrol picked him up and went out to Chimney Rock. They left only minutes ago. He calls after you as you run out the door. You borrow Jane's bike and ride back to Chimney Rock as fast as you can. There's a police car parked in the driveway. You go running up to the back door, expecting it to be open. Instead, you find it locked. You soon discover that the other doors are locked too. You pound on the doors and yell through the windows, but there's no sign of life. You're about to go to the nearest house and call the police station again when suddenly Michael and Jane come running up. Where's the policeman? Michael asks. That's what I was going to ask you, you reply. You soon find that although Jane and Michael escaped through a broken window, the policeman has disappeared. Another victim of the witch's curse of Chimney Rock. The end.
I mean, that's a good ending, right? I mean, the town has one
Yeah.
less cop. Yeah.
I was about to say exactly that. All right. If we choose the other option, which is to run down the road and then sneak back, it's also an ending.
Which is what I would do, honestly.
Yeah.
It's what I normally
sure
would do. I'd be like, well, fuck you.
I just gotta be sneaky, I guess. Making sure you keep out of sight of the caretaker's cottage, you run back to the house and look in the windows, hoping to see someone inside. As you're standing there, you hear a dog growling nearby. You turn and see Jervis's mastiff standing a few feet away, staring at you. I stepped forward slowly, growling and showing its teeth. Now it's close enough to spring. At that moment, a police car roars up the drive. Michael and a policeman jump out. The dog backs off and starts barking at the policeman, who takes out his gun and fires a shot in the air.
He takes out his gun and shoots the dog.
I was gonna say, this is unrealistic because he would just shoot the dog.
like real stat, I think this is from like a couple of years ago. Police departments reported that they shot like 10,000 dogs like a couple of years ago.
It's
in 1 year.
Yeah, it's like a stupid amount of dogs.
Like that's why you need to have a stuffed dog filled with taterite as a decoy, whatever you call the cops over if you have a dog. Like just have it like have a little voice box and be like, oh, bark, bark, bark. And they'll be like, oh, dog. And then when they shoot it, there's an explosion. And then, I guess stuff happens after that.
Oh, have you heard about the cop who tried to drug someone in Texas and their drink exploded?
I thought that was a joke that someone made.
I'm still, if it is, it's become very elaborate. If it's not, they've apparently gone to court.
I have to look that up because I thought that was a joke, like a joke thing. If it is not a joke thing, then fuck yeah, let's go. Because cops would have access to Rufinol, obviously. Well, they have access to all the drugs, including fentanyl. Like that one lady who was like 25% of the 25% of the Rufinol.
No, it's not true.
Oh man,
dang. Yeah, because last I heard, he was like, I was trying to spike my own drink. Like, okay. Anyways.
There was a police chief, I want to say, like I think in Arizona or New Mexico, was like the reason, like I think up to like 25% of the fentanyl came into the country. Like she was basically a gigantic like drug dealer. So yeah,
that does not surprise me.
No, cops love drugs.
By the way, most people that bring illegal drugs into the country are U.S. citizens. Fun fact.
Yep.
Anyways, Jervis the caretaker comes running up. When he spots the policeman, he calls off his dog. Suddenly, you hear a crash. Jane has broken a window in the living room. She jumps out into a juniper bush. The policeman walks up and stands, looking at her for a long time. If this were an ordinary house, he says, I'd arrest you for breaking and entering. But this is Chimney Rock. I'm just glad you got out alive. The end.
I'm just glad you're a white child, so I don't have to shoot you.
No murder has to happen today on my behalf. All right. If we go back a little bit.
A lot of times these books have like a good like like path where like it forces you into adventure if you just keep on saying no to the call of adventure. Like it's just like, you motherfucker, this is choose your own adventure, not sit on your fucking ass and do nothing book.
Adventure. Okay, stop distracting me, mister. Alright. If we go back, we have the option to ask Jervis to let us inside the house, Or to not. You chose not to. So, turn to page 39. Jervis leads you to the door, muttering and shaking his head. He unlocks and opens it. As you step inside, he shrinks back, as if afraid to enter. Although you are scared to be alone in the house yourself, you are just as glad to have Jervis along. You walk through the huge kitchen, kicking pieces of the broken tile floor aside, and then through the dining room, with its long oak table and high backed chairs. You call for Jane as you walk into the elegantly furnished library, where you see before you, standing in the middle of the oriental rug, a large black cat that stares up at you with intense green eyes. It must be Melissa. The cat starts pacing back and forth. It runs into the front hall and then comes back to the doorway and peers up at you as if it wants you to follow. You follow the cat through the front hall and past the main staircase. Suddenly, you see someone or something in the shadows. You are tempted to investigate, but you don't want to lose track of Melissa. Perhaps you only imagined you saw someone. If you follow the cat, turn to page 76. If you stop to investigate what it was you saw, turn to page 74.
I'm gonna just follow the cat. Like, I mean,
I was
what
going to
am I
say, let's go
doing
with the
being
kitty
curious?
cat.
What am I doing being curious about things around me? Well, there's a cat
I know
right
myself.
here.
I would follow a cat in a heartbeat. You follow the cat across a large living room and hall, then up a circular staircase to the high-peaked gable on the west side of the house. There is a door near the top of the stairs. The cat runs through it, and you follow. By the light coming through a high triangular window under the peak of the gable, you see a human figure huddled in the corner. It is Jane. As you run towards her, the door shuts behind you, and you hear a latch click. You try to pull it open, but it's locked. You look around for the cat, but it's gone. You bend over Jane, who is crying. Is the cat trained to do this trick? You are certain that you and Jane are both in danger. You cry out, but there's no answer. Hours go by. Every few minutes, the two of you yell for help and pound on the door. When darkness falls, you are both sitting helplessly, wondering if you will ever be rescued. Finally, you sleep. When you awaken, the room seems enormous. It is entirely empty, except a few yards away, sleeping quietly, is a mouse, the same size as you. The end.
What the fuck is that? What was
We
that
got
ending?
turned into a we got turned into a mouth.
But why? We haven't established anything yet.
So that the
In the
cat
book.
can chase you around.
I mean, I know the cat will chase you around, but like we haven't like.
The old lady's like, listen, Melissa needs her enrichment.
It's just like we haven't established that like you can be turned into things. Like we haven't. Like I feel like that's too early of an ending.
I don't know. Maybe if you took another path, Art.
I just feel like that's like a really weird ending to have at the beginning of the book.
Yeah. I imagine that another path leads to this ending.
Maybe. I don't know.
Anything is possible. All right.
I mean,
If we
I
go
don't know.
back and instead of following the kitty cat, we stop to investigate the humanoid shadow we saw, you turn back and walk towards the dark part of the hall near the stairs. A thin young woman in a black dress beckons you over. You must help me, she whispers. I'm Mrs. Bigley's maid, Lena. I can talk to you now because Mrs. Bigley is not watching. I am under a curse. You can save me, but only if... Suddenly she shrieks. You look around and see an old woman with a cane standing nearby. She is slim, like Lena, though much older and much taller. She is slightly stooped, and her head swings around like the head of a snake. Her sharp green eyes fix on you and then on Lena, who seems to shrivel under the force of her mistress's gaze. So this is Mrs. Bigley. Look into my eyes, the old woman says to you. If you speak sharply to Miss Bigley, turn to page 81. If you run, turn to page 92. Speak sharply.
I mean, I haven't yelled at an old lady in a while.
All right, we're going to yell at an old lady.
Yeah, I'm going to
I
be
love
like,
it.
why don't you attach your PDF to a email, you dumb bitch? Get out of here.
God.
Only way I'm going to listen to you. The only way I'm going to listen to you is if you could reset your router without me telling you what to do.
I'm gonna block Fox News on your cable box. I will not tell you the code ever.
The hint is it's your son's birthday, the one you don't like.
Nice. You have no power over me, you cry. Look me in the eye and tell me, where is my cousin? Jane. You've ruined everything, Miss Bigley cries. Bring Jane back, you insist. Very well, Miss Bigley says, her voice brittle with anger. I can't have her. I have no life left. No life of any kind. You can have her. Her green eyes shut tightly. Her face reddens and then turns very pale. Suddenly, you hear a girl's voice crying, Help! Where am I? You run into the hall and almost crash into Jane. She is overjoyed to find you. The two of you rush downstairs where you meet Michael and a policeman. When he hears your story, the policeman runs upstairs. He returns a few moments later, his face taut, his voice shaking as he speaks. Mrs. Bigley is dead. You three should never have come into this house. You probably frightened her so much that it brought on a heart attack. I should have you booked on half a dozen counts, but I think you've all learned your lesson. Jane says she feels ill, and the policeman drives her home. She recovers in a few days, but she's unable to remember what happened to her in Chimney Rock. Next time you come to visit your cousins, you find the house has been torn down. The new owners plan to build an apartment building on the property, and Jervis has moved away. Funny thing, Michael tells you, they never found Miss Bigley's cat. The end.
Is it funny that they found the cat? Or
yeah,
is it funny? Like, I don't even wouldn't even find that interesting. Like, cats run away all the time.
Yeah. If no one's feeding it, well, why would it stick around?
Yeah.
Right, Meester? Meester's like, if there was no wet food, I would never stick around. I need that wet food.
I only stick around with you because you feed me wet food as well. It's really the only thing you have.
Also, you scratch under my armpits.
Yeah, mostly that.
Mostly that.
You also get the mats out of my butt.
Yeah, it's true. I do get the mats out. It's always his butt.
Well, you know why?
Why? Because he can't reach.
It's because you can't reach, and also because you probably need to do a sanitary.
Oh, no, not that butt. Like on the...
Oh, no, okay.
On his back. Yeah.
On his back? Okay, because I'm just like,
No.
Probably want to do a little bit of sanitary trim there.
No, he's actually fine in that regard, surprisingly. Showing how fluffy he is. Hi, baby boy. Beautiful boy. He actually does do a pretty good job of cleaning himself. He's very soft. So soft. Anyways. Alright, if we choose the other option, which is to just run the fuck away, you dart past Lena and run to the part of the dining room facing the front of the house. You unlatch a window and try to raise it, but it is hopelessly jammed. You try another. You shake the next window as hard as you can, but your hand slips through it and goes through the glass. Your hand is slashed. Now you are desperate. You pick up a small ladder-back chair and use it to pound at the window, determined to knock out the wooden cross pieces so you can escape. Your movement increases your bleeding, and you begin to feel faint. You call for help through the broken window. With a final effort, you knock out the cross pieces and scramble onto the windowsill and leap into the juniper bushes below. Michael and Jane come running up. Michael rips off his shirt and bandages your arm. They help you back to their house and call an ambulance to take you to the hospital. Later, standing at your bedside, your doctor says, "You will always have a scar by which to remember the curse of Chimney Rock." The end.
They really wanted to like get the endings out in the beginning. Like be like, we promised 59 endings. We're gonna get them.
Yeah. All right. Go past Jervis.
I have a feeling that there's probably maybe one path in this book.
No, there are two because you have two options at the beginning.
Oh no, there's only one path that they want you to take.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah,
true.
The rest is just gonna be endings like almost immediately.
Yeah.
It feels like.
All right. If we go back another choice. We have the choice to go and ask Jervis for help, the caretaker, or we could climb up a big ass vine going up the balcony.
I mean, stranger danger, obviously, even when you're breaking into a place.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Also, Jervis is just a bad name for a person if you want me to trust them.
Yeah.
I like their ghost, obviously.
You summon up your strength, clinging tightly as you climb. You manage to pull yourself up onto the second-story balcony. You climb over the railing and step onto a small porch. Looking through a window, you observe a mouse scurrying around on the bare wood floor. You find the window unlocked. It opens easily, and you can climb right in. Yet your hands feel clammy. Your heart is pounding. As you lift the window open, you sense an evil presence within the room. If you climb in, turn to page 42. If you call for Jane through the open window, turn to page 41.
Faith, I just want to get you a situation here. Yeah, you're climbing up a side of a house, okay? And there's an open window, and I would assume that the window's like close enough they could probably shimmy over. Do you just like kind of like hope that you have enough finger strength to stay on the side of the house while yelling, or do you?
Yeah.
Do you climb up the cliff and then you just hang on before pulling yourself up and be like, hey? No, I'm obviously gonna like try to get in. Obviously, like why would I not?
Yeah. Okay. You raise the window all the way. Yeah. You raise the window all the way and climb in. The mouse shivers in the corner. As you stand looking at it, you notice something moving to the left of you. It is a large black cat. Its shoulders are hunched and its head is low as it stalks the mouse. Then, angered by your intrusion, it leaps aside, arching its back and hissing at you. The cat turns, you grab for it, and your hands come down on its tail. You hold it for a moment, and then it slips away and runs into an open cupboard. When you look in, you see it is actually a tiny passageway. You run around the corner, and then down the hall. Ahead of you is an open bedroom door. You walk into it and are startled to see, lying on a rug, a thin, tall, elderly woman, dressed in a long black dress. Her hair is reddish white, and her face is pale white. She is clutching at her chest with her thin, bony hands. She stares at you with burning green eyes as you approach. "I'm dying," she cries. "It's too much for my heart, too much. But you will be next. I'll see to that." If you say, "I'll get a doctor," turn to page 80. If you ask, "Where is my cousin Jane?" turn to page 81.
If you sit there and laugh at her for having a dumb heart that doesn't even want her to be alive, no, I don't know. I feel like I'm in the mood to watch an old lady die. Let's just ask where my cousin is, because that's definitely the thing you would do in this situation.
Oh, hey, I was right.
You were right? About what?
So this comes back to a previous ending we had.
Oh, okay.
The one where at the end Michael's like, "Funny thing, they never found Miss Bigley's cat." But the other one is a new ending.
Okay.
So, if we decide we're like, "I'm gonna go call a doctor." You leave the room and race down the stairs. You find Michael in the study standing next to the policeman. They have just started to search the house. "I'm glad you're here," you say. "Come upstairs, it must be Miss Bigley. She says she's dying." The three of you run up the stairs and lead them to the bedroom where you just left Mrs. Bigley. The policeman goes in first. "What kind of monkey business is this?" he cries. You look on the floor and rub your eyes with disbelief. Mrs. Bigley is nowhere to be seen. Instead, lying on the rug exactly where Mrs. Bigley was, is a cat, the same one you were chasing a few minutes before. The policeman becomes angry. He accuses you of playing a joke on him. He tells you to wait in the hall with Michael while he searches the upstairs. A few minutes later, having found no sign of either Mrs. Bigley or Jane, the policeman takes you back to the station house, where you are charged with malicious mischief. These charges are eventually dropped. The police, however, have a much bigger case on their hands. Jane has completely disappeared. The end.
I don't know. I guess the only thing I could say is ACAB. I guess. I don't know. Like, obviously
All
something
right.
happened if Jade doesn't seem to exist in the area that she was just in within an hour ago.
Yeah.
Something happened, obviously.
Yeah.
So.
But they're policemen. They're not two white women with a podcast. They're incapable of solving crime.
I mean, they do have one thing in common: white women and police officers. They do sometimes make jokes about people's deaths,
It's true.
and think that it's okay, and get like real up in arms when people call them out on it.
It's true. I made a joke about Shinzo Abe's death the other day.
Well, that's okay. I mean, you're supposed to make fun of him. He got killed. He got killed by something you would see in the Kids Next Door. I mean, he doesn't deserve any respect. Like,
I
it's
made a
literal
joke about
2x4 technology.
I made a joke because this is the third prime minister from Japan who's been assassinated, and I was like, 3 for 3, baby, 3 for 3.
Well, maybe they should stop being fucking fascists. Like, goddamn.
What
like,
a crazy idea.
Like, Japan has, like, really good soft power, and enough that people just forget that, like, the fascist, like, leaders from all the way back in Imperial Japan are still, like, it's the same party running and winning, like, the fucking
Yep.
prime ministership. It's the same one.
Like, I watched a video on both the 1932 assassination of the prime minister and the 1960 assassination of the prime minister, and it was like both for the same reason. Well, no, the 1932 was because the other side of the fascist regime wanted to be in power, and so they killed the prime minister. And then the judge was like, I mean, they had good intentions.
Like,
It was
you don't
so
have
dumb.
to give it to
It
them,
was
but,
so
like, at the same time.
All I think of is that Brooklyn Nine-Nine clip where he's like, cool motives, still murder.
Yeah.
Alright, so if we instead call for Jane instead of just going into the window for some reason.
Which is the fucking stupidest thing you can do. Like, are you a professional climber? Like, what is
you're
your
standing on a
strength?
porch, you're not hanging off of it.
Okay, because, like, it makes it sound like you're, like, I don't know.
No,
Maybe I missed a sentence.
you're standing on a porch. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Because, like, I thought you were just, like, grip strengthening it. Just, like,
Yeah, you're just holding onto the window. No, you do have a place to stand.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's even dumb calling them out. Like, I mean, if there's an open window, like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
We're calling.
You open the window and call as loudly as you can. Jane! The only response is the squeaking of the mouse. Then you hear a raspy voice calling, who are you? What do you mean breaking into my house? You vault into the room and open the door and run into the hall where you encounter a tall, elderly woman who stands glaring at you with burning green eyes. Mrs. Bigley. But a moment later she seems to vanish right in front of you. Confused and upset, but determined to find Jane, you continue on into the darkened hallway. As you stop to let your eyes adjust, you hear a shaky, quivering voice calling from the darkness again and again. Help me! Set me free! You stand frozen listening while the voice continues. Walk towards me! Touch my hand! Free me! As you walk towards the voice, you feel as if you are walking in a fog. You can only see a few feet in front of you. Suddenly, there appears before you an outstretched hand, pale white, its long, bony fingers extended towards you. You hesitate, but the hand lunges towards you and seizes your own hand in a cold, clammy grip. If you wrench yourself away and run for it, turn to page 82. If you say, there, the curse is ended, turn to page 83.
Oh, would we do the second one? Let's do the
curse is
first one because I
ended.
don't know why we would do the second one.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's do the first one.
Okay. You tear down the stairs, but in your haste you trip and fall. smashing your head on a post at the foot of the banister. You sit dazed for a moment, rubbing a growing lump on your forehead. Pulling yourself together, you make your way outdoors into the welcome sunshine. By the time you return to your own home, your bump has disappeared, but in its place is a reddish mark about the size of a $50, the mark of the witch's curse. The end. So you bashed your fucking head open because you fell down some stairs.
Okay.
Fun.
They-
You bear the mark of the witch's curse. They had to staple your skull back together.
Okay, well, that's definitely a ending you can get.
Yeah. If we go the other way and we're like, the curse has ended, the ghost is gone, dissolved it seems by the brightest rays of sunlight suddenly streaming through the windows. Was it your words that dispelled the apparition, or the sun bursting from behind a cloud? In any event, you leave Chimney Rock with a light heart, thinking that the best way to escape a curse is to free someone else from it, even a ghost. The end. What about Jane? Is she just
Where's
fucked?
Jane? Well, no, I think you freed Jane by just declaring that the curse is over, which I don't think you can do. I don't think that's
feel like
like your choice.
That's not how curses work. I'm pretty sure you can't just say, all right, we're done, and then it's over.
Like I think curses are supposed to be like a bigger deal than that.
Crazy.
Like you should at least have to like spend a couple of days in the body of like a person that you're disagreeing with and aren't connecting with, so like you get a like some form of like connection and understand each other. You should at least do that to get out of a curse. Like I don't know why you should just say the curse is over. Yep,
I feel
I'm
like
done.
a lot of curses would be done if you could just say, all right, we're done.
I mean,
bye.
if that's how that works, then I'm just gonna just declare everything a curse and then say that it's done. Then hope that I can get through life easier.
All right. Now we're going real far back. We're going to Jane going into the house, and we had the option to wait for Michael to get help or to go in after her right away. We chose to wait for help, but if we go in her right away, almost as soon as you step inside the house, you hear a muffled cry for help. It's Jane. Following the sound of her voice, you run through the kitchen, fling open the swinging door in the dining room, and make your way through the dark, musty library, down and into the front hall. You find her there, huddled behind the grand staircase. What happened? Are you all right? You ask. If only you can help me, she cries. I'm trapped. Trapped? Yes, I was looking around the house and I found a cat sitting right where we are now. It must be Melissa. And I went up to pat her, but she gave me a terrible look. She seemed to be laughing at me, and then she began pacing back and forth, as if there were bars there between us. Finally, she went away. But I feel as if the bars are still there, and that if I try to go through them, something terrible will happen. You are unable to convince Jane that she has nothing to fear. If you try to force Jane across the bars to prove they are not real, turn to page 19. If you say you will go get help, turn to page 20.
Let's try to force her. Let's get some head being cut off scene.
Yeah.
Because it's like razor wire or something like that.
Before Jane realizes what you're doing, you pull her through the imaginary bars. Melissa must have put a spell on me, she says. Just a little spell, you reply. Let's find that cat. We'll end its curse on Chimney Rock. At that moment, you hear a meowing from the top of the stairs. The two of you run up to the top landing. You look to the right and I'll go left, Jane says. There's no sign of the cat in the hall. So you look into a bedroom with its door open. Still no luck. You run to the other hall and see how Jane is doing, but she's nowhere in sight. You call out to her. You open every door that is not locked and look inside, but she does not answer. You walk back towards the stairs and jump with a start as a mouse runs past, then hurries on for a few steps. Suddenly, standing before you is a tall, elderly woman dressed in black, her hair swept back in a bun, her burning green eyes seem to stare right through you. So this is Mrs. Bigley. She never died, after all. She looks like a witch, But of course, witches don't really exist. Or do they?
They do. They
If you,
do. There's
you
whole
know,
religion about it. Yeah.
if you speak to Mrs. Bigley, turn to page 35. If you run down the stairs, turn to page 36.
Yeah, let's run down the stairs like pointing, be like, ew, ugly women. And then see
You
how
run
she
down the
feels.
stairs and, yeah. You run down the stairs and enter the library, where you almost collide with a slim young woman in a black dress with white lace and a little white hat. You gave me such a start, she says. I'm sorry about that, you reply, but I'm trying to find my cousin Jane. Who are you? My name is Lena. I'm Miss Bickley's maid. Do you know that there's a policeman outside? I just saw him through the window. There's a boy with him. He'll be coming in the back door. I just let him in. Yes, he'll help me find Jane, you say. He'll never be able to help you. You must stay out of sight. It's your only chance. Lena seems to make no sense, yet somehow you feel like she's speaking the truth. If you decide to talk to the policeman, turn to page 66. If you decide to go into another part of the house and look for Jane, turn to page 67.
Don't talk to cops. So let's go to another place in the house.
Yeah. Somehow you feel the policeman will be no match for Mrs. Bigley. You head upstairs, determined to look in every room and closet in the house, if necessary, to find Jane. At the top of the stairs, you hear a tinkly musical sound coming from a room down the hall. You walk very quietly to the door, which is slightly ajar, in time to see a large black cat jump down from the keys of a piano. So this is Melissa. The cat runs towards you. As it comes out the door, you pick it up and hold it tightly. I know you can help me find Jane, you say impulsively. You don't quite know why you say these words, but somehow you feel that the cat understands. You take off your belt and make a leash out of it. The cat squirms. It looks up at you with hatred in its eyes. Holding the end of your belt tightly, you drop the cat on the floor. Take me to Jane, you say. The cat starts rapidly running down the hall and then turns into a long corridor leading to another wing of the house, as if it knows exactly where it's going. Finally, it stops in front of a closed door. You turn the handle of the door. It is unlocked. You slowly open the door and look into a small bedroom. It obviously has not been used for a long time. The shade has fallen from the window and paint is peeling off the walls. The room is empty, except for an old-fashioned brass bed frame. Cringing in a corner, shivering with no place to run or hide, is a mouse, which looks up at you helplessly. The cat shows no interest in the mouse. Instead, it stares at you, its green eyes burning. You feel as though you must get away from the cat, and you drop the leash and run from the room, slamming the door behind you. Run down the stairs where you find Lena, trembling with fear. Where are Michael the policeman? You ask. I don't know, she replies softly. They disappeared. I can't say where, or it will be the end of me. She collapses into a chair and begins to cry uncontrollably. You want to comfort her, but you are angry that you let the cat go. Then suddenly you see it again, moving slowly towards you. I have to turn to page 102. You are swept by fear. You feel as if there are bars around you preventing your escape. The cat moves closer. It jumps up on a table and glares at you. If you close your eyes and gather your wits and strength, turn to page 71. If you shout and threaten to hit the cat, turn to page 103. Who would ever do that, huh, mistress? Who would ever threaten to hit a kitty cat?
Even if the cat had hatred in their heart.
Which is just how some cats are built. And that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you just, teach them that, you're okay to be around sometimes and, they're reluctantly sit next to you sometimes whenever you're chilling.
Yeah. Like, Mr. used to be afraid of people, but now he is a sweet little boy.
Okay. Let's do the bad one first. So get out of the way.
Try and threaten to hit the cat.
Yeah, let's do the bad one first and see if it gets to an ending, because we need to end the episode.
Oh, yes. When you shout, the cat hisses at you, jumps down, and scampers out of the room. You breathe a sigh of relief. You run out of the room and wander through a winding corridor that leads to a narrow flight of stairs. You start down them, reasoning that these are probably the back stairs to the kitchen, and this is the best route out of the house. I have to go back to page 25. You continue down the stairs. As you take your first step into the kitchen, you see a man peering through a window. His large, heavy, and his square jaw and squinty eyes give him a sinister appearance. He surveys the room, and his gaze rests upon you. It is Jervis, the caretaker. Although you stand motionless in the shadows, you are certain he has seen you. In a moment, he leaves the window. He must be coming around to the back door. See if either of these lead to an ending. No, we found a new path.
Oh no. See which one leads to an ending the quickest.
Okay, what? Okay. So, if we decide instead to close our eyes and gather our wits and strength, I gotta turn to page 71. You close your eyes and open them again. You cannot tell if you are awake or asleep. You are sitting on an enormous oriental rug. Before you are cliffs of wood lined with enormous books. Tables and chairs are towering above your head. Are you dreaming? Perhaps you are, for you feel very, very small. In the distance, you see a great black cat walking towards you, one slow step at a time. And then the second option here is what leads to an ending. So you can either try and escape by running out of the room, or you can try and wake up from this nightmare by running towards the monster cat.
Let's have toxoplasmosis and just run into the mouth of the cat. Let's go.
You run towards the cat. It looks as big as a tiger. As it springs, you realize that this is not a dream at all. For you, it is the end. The cat's got eaten by a cat.
Okay. Oh, there's worse ways of going out.
Yeah. The mystery of Chimney Rock. So, yeah, maybe we'll continue with the other way where you can threaten the cat, because that leads to a whole other can of beans.
And we get out our little mouse knife and be like, I'll fucking get you.
I will fist fight this cat and this old lady. Yeah. What do you think so far?
I'm liking it so far. I feel like they're really trying to force you to make certain decisions.
Oh, yeah.
Like, real hard. They don't necessarily make sense. Like, I have a feeling like they're trying to loop choices, and I'm always going to be pro looping them.
We did get to the same ending twice.
But the thing is, though, it didn't make a lot of sense with the wording.
Yeah.
Necessarily. Because, like, why would I be talking about the curse when I haven't really interacted with it and don't really believe it yet?
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be, like, the skeptical one.
Yeah. I do like the idea that you can just say, this curse is over, and then it's just over.
Well, it's like choice feminism. Like, you could just say what you're doing is feminism, and it's fine.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Be like, well, I'm a woman, and I'm choosing to actively take away your rights.
That's
because feminism. It makes me money. That's feminism, because she's girl bossing.
Yeah. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll pick this up again in the next episode.
Okay.
And this has been Turn to Your Doom. And remember, if an old lady, if you find an old lady in a haunted house, just fight her.
Yeah. Just fight.
Just physically fight her. Problem solved.
Okay. Bye.
Right. Bye.
Good night, Mr. the Missile.